Hello. Good afternoon. It's Ashley Burgess from Perspectives here with Ashley Burgess. And I'm between doing shows right now. I have shows that I'm about to air in California and in Texas. And I decided I would do a humorous show here for just a few minutes just before I have to get back into the studio. So I was thinking about some of the funniest things that happen to us as humans, a lot of things that bug us, the things that really get on our everlasting nerves. And it came to me the other day because it happened. It happened again. The thing that bugs me the most. It happened again. And sometimes when things happen, you just got to talk about it. And I think this is a way of talking about some of the easier things we deal with in life, but yet some of the things that really just chap us. One of the big things that irritates me, and let me paint the picture, okay? I'm going to paint the picture because if I paint the picture, you're going to totally understand where I'm coming from. Because I know it's happened to you. So, picture this. You're in a restaurant. The restaurant's not that big, right? It's not that big of a restaurant. Not a lot of people. There's only a few tables. There's not a lot of tables. It's not that packed. Okay? And everybody can see each other. Everybody can see one another. They can see you. You can see them. Everybody can see all the tables. And when someone gets up and they're heading toward the bathroom, everybody can see it. If you're actually paying attention, you can see the person going to the bathroom. And that's not what bugs me. But what bugs me is when you go to the bathroom and there's only one bathroom. It's its own self-contained bathroom. It's got its lock. You have to literally open the door, lock the door behind you. You have the sink, you have the dryer, you have the toilet, all that kind of stuff in one room. And so it's just a one stall deal. And so there you are. You get up in front of everybody. Everybody sees you get up, okay? You go to the bathroom, you close the door, you turn around, you push the little lock in. And as you're walking toward the toilet, somebody tries the doorknob. Like they start jingling it. Then they start knocking on it. And you're just like, come on, man. I mean, you don't know what to say. You go, what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say anything? Do I just stay quiet? Are they going to continue to juggle the lock? Are they going to continue to knock? And so they normally keep continuing, and you finally have to sit there and say, hey, man, I just got in here, okay? I just got in here. Give me a second. Okay, so that's something that really definitely bugs me. But to talk about the flip-flop of it, the other side of the coin. I've been on the other side of the coin where maybe I wasn't paying attention. And I get there, and I don't want to sit there and jiggle the lock, and I don't want to annoy the person in the bathroom. So instead of doing all that, I just stand outside of the bathroom, assuming that somebody's going to eventually come out, and, I'm going to eventually get to go in the bathroom. And so I figure, okay, this is going to eventually happen, and so I just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And as you can tell, what's going to happen next is, you know what? Nobody was in the bathroom. There wasn't anybody in there. I was over there just standing there like an idiot waiting around. That's the other side of the coin that totally bugs me. So let's talk about other things that bug us, or things that make us kind of, insecure. What about, tripping in front of people? What about tripping or falling in front of other people? How do you feel about that? Gosh. Okay. Let me think back to the last time I did that. I think it's funny. I have some friends that have done that in front of me where they go, I meant to do that. Just trying to do a new jump, just trying to look cool. I'm like, you did not mean to do that. But see, I don't make fun of people that fall because I don't want to fall. I know the whole karma principle, and the last thing I want to do is have karma come after me when I'm laughing at somebody who fell. Okay, just not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Not going to happen. Another thing that bugs me is when you try to help somebody, but they won't accept your help. Let me give you an example. When I was this is funny because this is something I remember obviously for a long time. I'm 16 years old. I'm at my high school prom, and there was a girl that was in the bathroom that, I don't know, everybody in high school liked me. I liked everybody. Everybody liked me. I don't know. I think it was somebody's date. I'd never met this person in my life. And she's walking out of the bathroom, and as I'm walking out behind her, I realize that she has actually tucked in her prom dress into her pantyhose. I realize it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to save this woman. I got to save her before she goes out there and makes a fool of herself. And so I kind of jumped right in front of her and I said, hey, real quick, you probably want to go back in the bathroom. Your dress, you might want to take care of your dress. She's like, excuse me? I was like, I think you might want to go back to the bathroom just because, I don't know, your dress might need to be kind of like fitted right in the back. She's like, who are you? I go, I'm Ashley Burgess, actually. She's like, and why are you talking to me? And I go, because I'm trying to help. You're trying to help me do what? And I go, your freaking dress. You took your freaking dress and you stuck it in your pantyhose and your butt's showing. How is that for you? Good riddance. And we've all been there before where you try to help somebody, and that wasn't necessarily the right way of going by it. But from now on, anytime that I am in that situation, I just explain immediately the situation and then say good luck and God bless you, and I walk off. But, when you're 16, you only try 5 or 6 times, and that was pretty nice, because back in the day, we all had a temper, right? That's something that bugs me. I'm trying to think about other things that bug me, because I try not to let things bug me. I try not to let small things bug me. I try not to let the big things bug me either, but sometimes they just do. I recently did a show that's about to come out. It'll air this weekend, actually, and I'm going to go into production with that later on today. No, actually, it'll be actually live on the weekend. Sorry about that. It's going to be live. But I've been kind of doing research on it. And it's the concept of figuring out the difference between the important stuff and the noise. And how to figure out when people are just being noise in your life and when people are actually adding to your life or people that are important to your life. And I've recently experienced situations where people are all about the noise, all about the drama, and they're all about getting their way. And they want your attention. They want you at their beck and call. And the way that their tactics that they use to get you are pretty good. They're riveting. They're great. It's kind of like The Graduate from the childlike stage. So anybody that wants to know what I'm talking about when I talk about the Graduate or the childlike stage, go to a Target or go to a grocery store and watch a mom deal with a child that some people would claim is a brat, right? And the child's screaming and yelling and crying and wants something. And, eventually mom either has to take the child out of the store and, do a little spanking or put the child in the car and they leave, or mom gives in. And I understand why mom gives in, but the problem with mom giving in is that if you give in once to this, you have to continue to give in or you got to change course, right? You got to change the course. And it's funny how when we try to change the course, it's pretty difficult. So, for example, if the first time the child has the fit and the outrage and the outburst, if you were to sit there and say, nope, we're going home. You check out, you get your stuff, or you just go, hey, I'm going to have to come back to the store or whatever. I got to go. We're getting in the car. We're leaving. This isn't going to be accepted. Your behavior is not going to be accepted. Okay, in that situation, the child learns immediately, and it might take a couple of times, but they learn immediately that you're not going to take any crap. Okay, you're not going to take the crap. They're not going to get stuff just for screaming and yelling. They actually have to be a good participant, no matter how old they are. Well, I think there's a lot of people out there that never got taught that. They never got taught that because mom and dad always gave in. And I know that you know some people like that because I know some people like that. And my gosh, you know what I'm talking about. And some people, I think they just got given into all the time. And as they grew up to be adults, and some of these people are in their 50s and 60s. It's not about, wisdom. No, it's some people just stay the same. And they have been the same their whole life. And they've always gotten attention by being the loudest, by being the rudest, by being kind of the ADD communicator. For example, you don't hear from them for months and all of a sudden they call you 6 times in a day and they want to talk to you right now, right then, no questions. And you don't have a chance to do anything about it. You can't just sit there and go, you're over there stressing out because you're seeing the phone blow up. Phone rings once, twice, 3 times. You got voicemail. You look down, they're emailing you. And it's interesting, too, with people that are about a bunch of noise and about a bunch of dramas, they also don't respond to you normally when you respond. So, for example, the recent situation that I dealt with some noise is somebody called me once, and I was on the way to a family reunion. And I had to get in the car, get other people in the car, drive to the airport early in the morning. And if anybody knows how driving to the airport with a bunch of family is, you know what I'm saying, that you can't take a call in the car. You can't take a call in the car because you know what? You're not going to be able to hear anything. Somebody's going to be over there saying, we got to do this. Somebody's going to be over there saying, oh my gosh, we're running late. What gate are we going to? Oh God, ah! So you know you're not going to take a call in the car, especially from someone that you know might be contributing to a little bit of drama and negativity in your life, right? The last thing you want to deal with is negativity as you're getting to the airport. And so I avoided this call and I let it go to voicemail. And so as I'm driving to the airport, I'm sitting there thinking, golly, what did they have to say? What was the reason for their call? Oh, geez. And there I am like lamenting it. I'm lamenting the call. So I park the car, get the bags. We check in the bags at the gate. I'm sorry, we check in the bags at the check-in area. Go through security. Get to the gate. I look down at my phone. And I check the voicemail. And sure enough, yes, they want to talk about all kinds of drama. And I got, and it's something I have to deal with. But do I have to deal with it right now? And do I have to deal with it the way they want me to deal with it? That's the question. And at first I kind of felt bad because I go, I should probably just call them back right now and just get it over with. But then half of me was like, wait a second. They could have called me for the last 2.5 weeks. And they chose to call me in the morning of the day that I'm flying out of town with family up to a reunion, taking a 5-hour flight. You know what? I don't feel like calling. So you know what? I did what we mostly do, right? I texted back. I responded with, hey, at the airport, waiting on a flight, got a lot of people around, love to have the conversation. Is there a better time that we can talk? No response. Absolutely no text response for hours. When I landed, still no text response. Okay? Text it again and say, hey, I'll probably be able to call you tomorrow. Give me a time. No response. Okay, no response. 2 days later, I finally get an email. Well, I haven't heard from you. And so I'm going to need you to deal with this person, XYZ. And it's like after a while, you kind of go, you know what? You can't even respond to me on the same... You can't even respond. And that's key right there for people that are wondering, is it noise or is it important? So the next time you have someone that you know is going to cause drama in your life and a little bit of chaos, and you're questioning if you should answer the phone, wait. Unless you want to nip it in the bud right then, and you want to get down to the brass tacks of it, and you don't care how any of this is going to fall together. I mean, because I could have done that. That's one of the flip sides of the thing. I could have just done with it and dealt with it then. But I just knew that for some reason I was going to need some factual evidence that I didn't have on me at the time. And that this would turn into some sort of, I don't know, just some sort of screwed up situation. And I think it's interesting. A long time ago, I loaned some money to somebody. And I was told that I was definitely going to get it back. And I know that a lot of people listening right now have loaned money to people. And they thought they were going to get it back. And you didn't. You didn't get it back. And it hurts because sometimes you go, man, I could have really used that money. And man, I made a bonehead decision about giving them that money. I should have just realized that this wasn't going to come back. But you know what? We all have our hopes and go, so-and-so would never do me wrong. And it's one thing if the person doesn't have the money. It's one thing if the person's living, paycheck to paycheck and doesn't have the money. But it's a different thing when they do. It's a different thing when you know they do. Okay? And this particular person has the money, but I don't really want to think about it because I've already forgiven the situation. I've tried to let it go. And I was thinking about this the other day because we all have those friends, and I don't really think they are friends, actually. Let me take that back. We all have people in our life that we need to get rid of, that we need to kind of push to the side and say, thank you so much for contributing to what you've contributed in my life, but I gotta go now, so it was great meeting you. Some people do it in a way where they don't even speak to them, and then they hope that the person just kind of leaves them alone. That can be successful, and it might not be successful. It kind of depends. But the person I'm talking about, I normally work about 14-hour days, sometimes longer. And I had gotten out of the studio pretty late one night, and I got home, and I'm hungry, and I'm tired, and I could use a drink. All that stuff is at play. And I get home and I, get a glass out of the cabinet. I go to the ice machine. I put some ice in there. I grab some Kettle One. I pour that in. I put some club soda in there, some spritzer in there, and a little bit of lime and lemon. And before I get a chance to sit on the couch, my phone starts blowing up. I hear ding, 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 all kinds of texting going on. And so I go to the texting and I realize it was from Facebook Messenger. And I'm like, oh, goodness, what's going on here? And I usually don't always check my Facebook Messenger because there's way too many messages on it. Okay? I think one of my accounts is like 1,500 messages. And I love everybody. And I always reach out. No matter how many friend requests, I will always reach out and go to people's page, no matter how long it takes to write a comment and to actually care. But when it comes to the inbox on that, I don't have enough time and I can't afford somebody to hire to do that. Eventually I can, and eventually I will. But in the meantime, it's either me or no one. So I go to the instant messenger, though, and this girl that provides some drama and that I've worked to distance myself from, messages me and says that the person that owes me that money apparently is getting engaged to get married. And my response to that is, that's great, that's awesome, that's cool, that's awesome. I want everybody to be happy. I like it when people are happy. I don't want people to be unhappy. I don't want people to hurt. I like it when people move on in their life and they figure out their life and they find someone they love and they move on. And I'm so happy with that. And I said, hey, I'm really stoked about it. I'm really happy. Thanks for letting me know. I'm assuming you're going to the wedding. She's like, no, I was just looking at his Facebook page. And I was like, okay, so you're stalking his page? As a joke. She's like, haha, you need to check it out. Here, check out this link. And I'm like, okay. So I click on the link, and it's a picture on his page, or actually on the fiance's page, of the wedding ring. Oh, my God. Oh, my gentle Jesus. This ring, 7 to 10 carats, at least. And it was definitely real. And that's when, after you've loaned somebody some money, that you start getting a little warm around the collar, a little angry, a little upset. There's a lot of words for it, but I'm not going to use those, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't cuss on my other shows, and I choose to probably keep in that consistency just because, once you get into the pattern and the habit, you never know what's going to happen. And so as I look at that diamond, I haven't taken one sip out of my drink yet. I haven't sat down on the couch yet, and I haven't eaten dinner. It's almost 9:30 at night. And all that stuff starts playing in your head. Like how stupid you were to loan the money, and what a jerk the person is not to pay you back, and all that stuff. And so my next inclination was to call the woman that had told me, that had texted me on Instant Messenger. So I picked up the phone and called her. She doesn't answer the phone. I pick it up again. I redial. She doesn't answer. I was like, come on. I was like, okay, you sent me all this stuff and you leave me hanging. Long story short, I got over it. And I'm still working on getting over it because it's hard. I mean, you can forgive someone, but if you're dealing with the financial stuff and you see it in your face, it changes things. But that puts things into perspective. Think about it. When was the last time that it was late at night that somebody called you or texted you with a bunch of drama? When? And I know that if you picked up the call and you actually took the call, you probably couldn't sleep well that night because it stressed you out. I have a friend of mine that he found out recently his father died about 9 months ago, and his mother's a widower, and he found out randomly one night that his mother is dating a 20-year-old boy. Talk about crap hitting the fan. And the way he found out about it was his sister-in-law called him on the phone at 10 p.m. at night to discuss the situation. He's got 2 daughters, and he had just put his daughters to bed. And he had just gotten home about an hour before that, trying to decompress, put the kids to bed, about to talk to the wife and see how she's doing. And he gets this call from the sister-in-law. And she's like, we just had it up to here. We're moving out. And they were living with his mom, the sister-in-law, and his brother. And he goes, why are you moving out? What's going on? And she goes, because we can't stand it around here anymore. It's gotten too much. Ever since your dad died, it's really gotten out of control. And they're all like, well, he's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, your mom's dating a 20-year-old kid. She just bought him a brand new car. He's like, what? And he finds out all this at 10 o'clock at night. They're on the phone until 11 p.m. He's stressed out. He's angry. He's resentful. Talk about not sleeping. And so a little bit of words for advice from Ashley, from me today. Because, on Perspectives, on my main show, there's always more answers and less questions. Because I don't believe that you should ever listen to something and get more questions and question your life more than you already do. I believe that there should be provided answers. And there should be clarity when you listen to something. And you should get something out of it, for Christ's sakes. And so my advice to you right now, this afternoon, live from my studio, is to realize when the phone's ringing, analyze if it's the right time to pick up the phone. Depending on the right time, depending on how late it is, how tired you are, and the track record of that person calling, all that stuff needs to be put into consideration. Okay? Have they been a friend or have they been a noisemaker? If they've been a friend, that's one thing. If they've been a drama and a noisemaker, I would defer it to the following day if you even pick up the phone at all. Life is too short to deal with people that add drama and stress in our life. It's just too short. It's not worth it. Think about it. You can't get the time back. You can't get the time back, but you know what? From here on out, you can choose, honestly, where to spend your time and where you're not going to spend your time, because that's what matters, because you control your own life. And I know sometimes we might feel bad about it, but you know what? We got to get over it. Because if we're doing the right thing, and we're doing the right thing by everybody, and we respect people, and we're good people, and we're not noisemakers, and I underline that, not noisemakers and not drama makers. Because if you're a drama maker and you're a noisemaker, you're going to bring that to you. And if that's what you want in life, that's fine. But most of us don't want that. Most of us want a life where we can be happy and healthy and have clarity and consciousness and live and become successful. And in order to do that, it's a lot easier to do that without a lot of noise, a lot of stress, and a lot of drama. So stay tuned. I'm going to do another live show here soon. I think it's kind of fun because I like doing this stuff. And I think I want to do a call-in next. I want to do a call-in show. I want to do a call-in about relationships because, I'm a family and marriage counselor and therapist. Also a certified life coach, because I believe that it's not all about therapy. It's about coaching. It's about success. It's about living. I'm also a 3-time author and a syndicated talk show host. And I like to take questions and calls. And I'd like to do a call show on dealing with relationships and roller coaster type relationships and how to analyze what type of relationship you're in based on the characteristics of the situation. Because sometimes we get in these relationships where we think we're going crazy. We think we're going crazy because it's like, what's up is down, what's down is up. And sometimes you need clarity. I've needed clarity before trying to figure out what's going on. And I specialize in a lot of that. I specialize in dealing with personal relationships. And I think that's something that's so critical because in life, some of the most amazing things we have are the relationships we have. And some of the most harmful and stressful things we have are the relationships that we deal with. And life, again, is too short to be in a relationship that's not ever going to pay off. And what I mean is there's some relationships out there that you can try your best, you can do everything you can, but that person's not going to love you because they don't love themselves. And you're not going to be able to change that. You're not going to be able to change the fact that they don't love themselves. You can think you can, but again, that's the ego talking. That's not reality. And sometimes the easiest thing to do, even though it's difficult at the time, is to walk away. But sometimes you don't have to walk away. Sometimes you can make it work. And sometimes all you need is just a little bit of help of figuring out what the next step is. So on the next live show I do, we'll be talking about relationships. I'd like to do a call-in show, and I can't wait to do it. For more information on me, check out AshleyBurgess.com. Ashley Burgess, BERGES.com. Love to hear from you. You can contact me on the website. And guess what? Perspectives with your host, me, Ashley Burgess, will be back this time in 3 shakes.